There is a simple way to get ahead of 99% of other agency owners and start making 10K, 20K, even 50K a month fast. In fact, I just used this simple method in my most recent agency to hit 100K a month in just 30 days. It's powerful stuff. So today I want to show you this method so you too can start having wildly profitable months just like these with your agency. So here's what we're going to cover. Number one, the idiot-proof way to sign high-paying clients quickly and easily. These dream clients pay lots of money but require very little effort. Number two, the GTKT framework that's going to turn your agency from a lazy, slow, low-income mess into a laser-focused money-making machine, and do it in the quickest way possible. And lastly, if you can stick with me through to the end of this video and fight the urge to go watch something a little more entertaining, but that probably isn't going to help you make more money or grow your agency, well, I'll reward you with my own personal agency growth blueprint. So, let's dive in. All right, so the very first thing that we need to cover here is the fact that in order to beat 99% of other agency owners, well, it's really not that hard. And in fact, all we really have to do is look at what most agency owners are doing and then not do that or do the opposite of it. Because what the 99% typically end up doing are time-wasting, non-revenue generating activities, things that make them feel good, things that make them feel productive, things that I call productive procrastination, things like updating their website, creating content, engaging in social media research, things like that, but they're not actually delivering results. So we've got to find a way to cut the fluff, cut out everything that isn't directly producing a result for you and for your agency. Now, probably doesn't take a lot of guesswork here to realize that spending countless hours on social media, doing endless content marketing, most of which is never going to get seen or never get promoted, endless research, which can basically be sort of like doom scrolling, looking for competitors or other opportunities. Essentially any other task that isn't one of the things that we're going to talk about here in just a minute, well, these are all going to result in a lack of direction, a lack of focus, and ultimately a lack of results. The fact is that you don't need to do more. You actually need to do less of all of this stuff, and then simply take all of the time and energy and money that you're putting towards that and direct it towards the things that are going to appear over here. So with that said, well, let's talk about the few things that you actually do need in order to truly generate a wildly successful and profitable agency. And the first of which is that we've got to talk about who. And this is by far one of the biggest mistakes that most agencies make, is the myth or the mistaken belief that they can do everything for all people all of the time. You may know this as not niching down or going broad or buying into the mistaken belief that, look, we don't need to niche down. I am the niche. I'm unique and special and amazing. And yes, of course, you are as a human being. But as an agency owner, it's just not going to fly. This is the reason that over the years, I've come up with something called the 5 golden niche rules. And I'm going to walk you through those now because you're going to be able to filter what you're doing right now against these rules, and you're also going to be able to use it to apply to any niche that you're thinking of or currently pursuing, or if right now your agency is falling under the mistake of serving a bunch of different niches, this is hopefully going to help clarify a whole bunch of things for you and make life just a whole lot easier and a whole lot more profitable. So rule number 1 is that you've got to pick one single niche, not 2, not 3, 4, right out of the question. We need 1. And the reason is we need to focus. We need to be clear, we need to be specific, and we need to be relevant to a select group of people. And we simply can't do this when we're spreading ourselves way too thin and watering down our message, trying to go after everybody all of the time. For example, you and I may know that generating leads for a dentist is literally identical from our part as generating leads for a chiropractor. Pretty much exact same funnels, very similar offers. We both use the term patience for both of them, very similar. But a dentist and a chiropractor, they don't view themselves as the same. So if we start saying, yeah, we do marketing for dentists and for chiropractors and for med spas and for other health things, they're going to start looking at you as more of a jack of all trades. And even though you and I know that you're going to be able to get results for all of them, you're simply going to come across as a little bit more bland, a little bit more boring, a little bit more vanilla, and completely ignorable. And given the choice between an agency that say just specializes in chiropractors and one who does chiropractors and dentists, whatever, the chiropractor is clearly going for the specialized person. There's other reasons that we want to do this as well, and that we can find proven and repeatable offers and messages and systems. We can scale them up quicker. We can make just a whole lot more money with a whole lot less effort. But that's the big one. One niche, not 2. Next rule, the more specific, the better. What this means is that we want to find a way to really make sure that we've not just chosen a niche, like say dentists, but we're diving deep into it. So are these dentists in certain areas? Do they have certain dental practice sizes? Do they offer certain services? Is it surgery or implants? Is it teeth whitening? Is it basic cleaning? Is it general dentistry? Whatever it is. Because again, there's going to be overlap between the different kind of services that you offer, the different kind of packages that you put together, the price points, the messaging, the tone, the style, the problems, the objections. All of these things are going to repeat again and again and again. Ideally, your agency in the next 6 to 12 months should become very boring for you. What I mean is that you should be doing the same things, saying the same things, working with the same people, and just banking cash. Because the alternative is every day there's a new and exciting challenge, a new client to talk to. But this means you've got to relearn all of their problems and pains and fears and frustrations. You've got to go through all of the hurdles of figuring out exactly what they want, how to position your agency, how to create things that they actually want to take advantage of. So be specific, really believe in what you're doing, and this is also going to allow you to elevate your sales game, because when you're having conversations with potential clients, well, sales is largely a game of belief, of understanding, of commitment, courage and faith in what you're doing. And if you're completely specific and you're dialed in on exactly who you're doing it for, it makes it a whole lot easier to show them that, yes, not only am I good at marketing, but I only do marketing for landscaping businesses, solar companies, roofing, martial arts, whatever it is. All right, rule number 3, the niche must need what you're selling. This one sounds kind of obvious, but you'd be amazed. A lot of people go after niches that simply do not need marketing services. They're already busy. They're fully booked out. The last thing that they want is more business, either because they're already fully saturated or they're just in an industry that doesn't want to grow. So a good example here is veterinarians in my area. I love vets. I've actually had veterinarian clients before, animal doctors, great people. The problem is, at least in my local area, the vets are booked out for months and months and months to come. They don't have a lead gen problem. They have waiting lists. They have lists that the people have to join in order to even get an interview with a vet to get your animal looked after, your friendly dog and cat, whoever you're looking after. So I'm like, these are not people that we want to go after. We want to go after people who are hungry for leads, who want more business, who value growth, who prioritize it, who are already spending money and investing in marketing. Very good sign that you're going to be able to go after them and again, well, make your life just a whole lot easier. Next, the niche must be able to afford it. Again, similar with need, but you'd be amazed at how many people overlook this when they're looking at niches that they have experience or interest in, and they start looking at low ticket, low cost items. So restaurants, anything that's selling for $5 or $10, any other kind of low level hospitality services, things like that, coffee shops. These are really, really hard to get massive results for and to also justify the cost. For example, it doesn't take a significant amount more effort to do marketing for a $500,000 product than it does for a $5 product. You still need to come up with an offer, still need to identify a target market, still need to put yourself out in front of them, still need to do follow-up, still need to do all of those things. But for one business, you make them $5 by selling an extra pot of ice cream. And for the other company, the other business, you make $500,000 by selling high-end home refurbishments or expensive luxury cars or incredible vacations or real estate or other things like that. Now, this doesn't mean that you only have to go after selling $1,000,000, multi-million dollar products, but it's my advice you find something that's selling for at least over $1,000, and ideally they have a lifetime client value of multiple thousands of dollars, because then they're clearly going to have more incentive to get more of these high ticket items, and it's also going to be a lot easier for you to get them a positive ROI, return on investment, for the money that they're spending on you. All right, number 5, must be in demand and growing. Good example here. You don't want to be doing marketing for a newspaper company. It's a dying industry. You don't want to ideally be doing too much marketing for anything that is in an industry that is going through a decline that doesn't look like it's going to be coming back. The exception here is like seasonal businesses, snowboard resorts, for example. Clearly, they're busy in the winter and they're going to be a little quieter in the summer. Same thing goes with, say, beach vacations and beach resorts. They're going to have a hot season and a shoulder season and an off season. So you can design things that way. But what I'm more so talking about are these broad general industries that are just disappearing. They're dinosaurs. They're out. We've got some new stuff. There are plenty of other opportunities. There's no need to hitch your ride to an old dying industry and go down with the ship. That is not what this is about. All right. So on that note, well, what should we be selling when we're going after these, when we've gone through the 5 niche rules, after we've got our who, we've identified our ideal client avatars, our ICAs, what do we want to sell? We want to sell high profit, and we want to sell low fulfillment offers. High profit, low fulfillment. What this means is you get to make a whole lot more money with just a little bit of work. What's a good symbol for work? Let's use check boxes. We'll use a little X. So what this means is that you're going to offer them something, and I'll give you a list of services that we use inside of our agency. I teach to all of my clients and students and what exactly we should be using here. But obviously we want something that's going to make you a lot of money and not going to take you a lot of time in order to deliver. So let's quickly go through now a couple of these low profit ones, and then I'll show you high profit shortly after. So a low profit offer that a lot of people offer with their marketing. And one of the reasons that SMMA or social media marketing agencies, people get confused and think, well, is it just social media? No, it's kind of become synonymous with lead gen and things like that. But if you're doing just literal straight up social media management, that is a low profit offer. And the reason is you simply can't charge that much for social media management because the competition is too high. And there's another factor at play as well, which we're going to talk about in just a minute, which is my golf course analogy. So we'll talk about that in a second. But social media management, that's one. Content marketing, that's another. Any kind of content creation, content posting, content redistribution, anything around that realm. The reason is it's hard to tie to an ROI, and there's a lot of competition in that field. Another example, web design. This is one of my least favorite services to offer, and this is one that I offered a lot in the early days of my business. Why is it low profit? Well, you can charge $5,000 for a website, which makes it sound really good on the surface, but there's 2 problems with it. Number one is that it's going to take you a decent amount of time in order to create a truly good website. Even if you outsource a lot of it, even if you're really good at web design or web dev, it's still going to take you some time. Also, there tends to be a lot of back and forth with clients no matter what you design. They always want something changed or something tweaked or something added. And even if you have an ironclad contract, you still want to do your best to make your clients happy. So you're going to find yourself just way overextended. Under something we call scope creep, where the scope of the project just expands and expands till you're basically hating your life and wishing you never did that. The other problem is web design is typically a one-off project. So unless you're offering ongoing services like search engine optimization for that website, conversion rate optimization to turn it into a lead gen machine, or some kind of more expensive web hosting than just 10 or 20 bucks a month, which you're not going to make a lot of money doing that, kind of a dead end kind of service and something that you definitely don't want to build your entire business around. So let's talk about high profit. High profit offers are anything that you can tie directly, anything directly related to money, to clients making money. And this is where my golf course analogy comes in. I want you to think of, I don't even really play golf, but it'll work. Here's the deal. When we're thinking about golf, basketball, hockey, whatever it is, you want to imagine that there's these different levels, different distances from the hole. The hole in one, it's getting a goal, kicking a field goal, whatever it is, scoring a touchdown, all the sports analogies. Things over here, these are things like generating leads, generating actual customers, generating appointments, and generating sales. These are high profit services, and they're high profit. Well, essentially we've got half of it because it's going to give your client more money. The more money you make for your clients, the more money they're going to pay you in return because they're going to be able to justify it. And it makes a lot of sense. Like, of course, I'm going to give you $3,000 if every time I do, you give me $30,000 back in new business. Like, how many times am I going to play that game? As much as I can. On the other hand, if we start moving this way, well, this is where we end up with things like social media management. We end up with like web design here. Sure, it looks good. It feels good. It sounds good. But are we directly equating this to new sales? Not necessarily. Whereas like if we take the web design and we turn that into say SEO, well, now we've generated traffic, which we could argue comes at the top of the list over here. Traffic turns into leads. We can engage them. We can turn into conversations, turn them into appointments, turn them into sales. So these are the kind of things that we need to be focusing on. It's getting a bit messy, but stick with me. These are the services. If we can't generate them those kind of results, then we need to find someone that can to partner up with or to start learning what those are going to look like. All right, so with that said, what are the services that I offer? And what are the services I recommend? I call them the core four. And I love these things for a number of different reasons. The first of which is that they all end up over here. They're all on this side. High profit, they deliver results, clients like them, etc., etc. The other reason that I really like them is that they're low fulfillment. Low fulfillment services are really the key to running an effective and as close to passive income as you're going to get kind of agency. Yes, be available for your clients. Yes, answer their calls, respond to their emails, make sure you're doing the best job possible, but you don't want to be spending all of your time fulfilling these services, doing everything. And that's where, again, these services come in. And of course, we use a lot of software and a lot of automation for this. This video is not sponsored, but I'll show you what I use in just a second. So the first of which are services that fall under what I call the lead generation category. So this is anything that helps generate leads for your clients. So we use software that allows us to do something called missed call text back, which is one of my favorite things, because what this allows us to do is if someone calls your clients and they don't answer the phone right away, we can automatically text that person back and we can salvage that sale. I can't even begin to tell you how much money this has made for our clients, simply because instead of them going on, our clients' customers moving on to the next person in the Google Maps or wherever else they're going, they get a message back from your clients and therefore they follow up and they're far more likely to buy. We use web chat widgets, which allow us to turn their websites into conversion tools that we can now start engaging with them, having conversations. We do the same with the Google Business Chat, where again, we can take traffic there and we can start turning it into conversations. We use call to action forms. We put these on the website as well, which allow us other opportunities to promote and to offer discounts, incentives, ethical bribes, anything to encourage someone to take action. And this kind of falls under local SEO, but it's citation building. So without going too far down the rabbit hole of nerdy SEO talk today, the way to optimize the local map pack, if you remember kind of like when you go to Google and you see the pins or whatever it is, well, that's an abysmal drawing, but you get the picture. All those listings at the top, well, those are actually incredibly easy to rank for, and they really come down to just a few different factors. The first of which is making sure that the Google business profile is completely filled out. Fill out all the descriptions and the data, the pictures, the hours, put the address on, everything you can to fill it out to just the absolute best of your ability. Number two, try to get as many positive reviews as you can and respond to them. We can also dispute negative reviews, but more on that in just a second. And then the third thing is building up citations, which are local listings, local links, things like Yelp, social media links, anything that's going to create a backlink back to that page is going to increase the rankings, which will increase your client's traffic, will increase their business. It's like, it's the closest thing to a magic bullet that we have. So that's lead generation. Next, let's talk lead conversion. So lead conversion is where we take all of the leads that we've just generated, and now we start turning them into conversations, we engage with them, and we essentially move them down the funnel, turning them into a paying customer for your clients. And again, think of that golf course analogy. The closer that we're able to move someone to actually making a purchase and giving your customers money, the better that your agency is going to do, the more money you're going to make, the longer your retention is going to be, everything gets a whole lot better. So we use something called a lead connector app. This is through the software that I'll share with you in just a second. But what this allows your customers to do is have the conversations directly inside the app. So every time they get a chat on the web chat widget, SMS response, missed call text back, whatever it is, it happens right there. So we don't have to get access to all kinds of their websites or their phone numbers or anything like that. We use text snippets. So if they don't know what to say, when they start getting inquiries in, we can pre-write that for them and just tell them to literally click a button and have the conversation automatically. Absolutely amazing. And then we use video messages, which this is optional, But if you've got a client that is willing to do this, very powerful. In fact, especially for higher ticket services, if they're selling something for north of $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, think roofs or kitchen remodeling or anything like that, having the business owner send a quick 15-second video back to a client that's just inquired about something is literally the closest thing you're going to get to guaranteeing a conversion for that client. So we include all of those basically always. Next, online reputation management. This is where we get to deal with all those things that I talked about before in regards to the Google reviews. I'm writing fast, so we're out there. We're going for it. So the first thing that we can do is we can send out automated review requests on behalf of your clients to their customers. So we can send them a link that will link directly to their Google business page. We can say, hey, would you like to leave us a review? This is especially useful after something really good has happened for one of their customers. Obviously, we're more likely to get a good review that way. This builds up those 5-star ratings, which increases their rankings, which makes them look better. We can also read and reply to each review. This is powerful because if you've ever seen a business that just has a bunch of reviews, some good, some bad, and there's no replies, these are wasted opportunities. First of all, a reply acts as like another comment and another signal to Google in order to show like, hey, this person's clearly engaged here. The second is every review and every reply is an opportunity to sell, not just to the person who's left the review, but to all of the other people who are reading the reviews. This is our opportunity to show that we care, we're engaged, we're involved, we have this. Amazingly powerful. And then of course, this is one of people's favorite tools, which is that we can actually go in and dispute negative reviews. So there are some less than ethical, scrupulous people out there, sad to say, and they will often go in and leave spammy, fake, negative reviews on your client's Google, or they'll have like a crazy customer go through and just like leave this tirade of destructive, negative thoughts. We can actually go in and submit to have that review removed and say, this isn't actually true, or this is libel, or it's not the case, or whatever it is. And your clients will absolutely love this because you're going to be keeping their online reputation solid, secure, and clean. Okay, number 4, customer re-engagement. This is, again, I feel like I've said a lot of these are my favorite, but that's the reason I call them the core 4. Customer re-engagement is truly one of my favorites because it allows us to make promises to clients. Like, we can help you get 30 new sales in the next 7 days for absolutely $0. And the way that we do that is this tool right here. All we do, we get the client's list, we load it into software, then we send the re-engagement campaign. I'll just say send campaign. This can be done through email. It can be done through SMS. What we're doing here is we're saying like, hey, are you still interested in buying a new car? Hey, are you still interested in selling your house? Are you still looking for this kind of thing? Or we say, hey, I've got these couple $20 gift cards set aside. Just wanted to know if you wanted one. Just let me know and I'll leave one here at the office for you to pick up. Unbelievably effective and powerful, and your clients' phones will light up like a Christmas tree. It's a true thing of beauty. And again, amazing way to deliver a fast win for them that they didn't see coming. Now, this video is not sponsored, but the software that I use is called High Level. That's what allows us to do all of this, and essentially automatically inside of the software. Now, like I said, not sponsored. However, I will leave a link down in the descriptions below. And I've got this highlevelguide.com that's going to get you access to an extended free trial, a whole bunch of other goodies and some bonuses. So really nothing to lose. I would definitely recommend checking it out. I've used this with all of my agencies to grow them to multiple 7 figures. And this is the software that we use. We still continue to use. Absolutely powerful. I don't like to use the word game changer too much, but it's really been that good for it. So make sure to check that out and you'll be able to get access to all of those tools. Try it out, see if it works for you. Okay, next, let's talk about like a gray area when it comes to high profit services, which is advertising. The reason that advertising is a bit of a gray area, and we're going to say Facebook and Google ads, is because if you've got a client with like a $5,000 budget per month, and you're running ads and you haven't specified advertising spend on top of, or even if you have, it doesn't really matter. And the reason is because you're going to say, let's say spend $2,500 on ads. And that means you get to keep $2,500. Now, of course, we could say, look, I'm going to charge them $5,000 and ad spend is extra. Yes, of course. But then even then, if you're doing that, it still looks like they're now paying $7,500. They don't they understand that $2,500 or $5,000 or $10,000 of those dollars are going to Facebook or going to Google. They get that intellectually, but emotionally, that's the number they see. They see $5,000 going out. They see $7,500 going out. They see a lot of money going out, and you're only pocketing a percentage of it. Now, still a fantastic way. Over the last 10 plus years, I've spent more than $70 million on Facebook ads profitably through my agencies for my clients. So clearly, I'm not saying don't do this. I think it's a fantastic model if you are good or are willing to learn or get good at Facebook ads and Google ads, but it is something to keep in mind. And that's the reason that unless your agency is doing consistent 10 to 20K months at least, I pretty much always start with these core four and introducing them. And then when the clients continue to ask hey, can we do Facebook ads? Do you have this? Do you have that? Then I start looking at ways of adding these in as well. All right. Next, we got to talk about where. Where are we going to find these people? We know who. We've identified our ideal client avatar. We've gone through the 5 golden niche rules. We've gone over which are what services are we going to offer? Obviously the core 4. We've talked about high profit, low profit, how we want to equate that to sales. Where do we find these people? And for that, my friend, we need something called a lead list. A lead list is exactly what it sounds like. It is a list of potential leads. Now, the secret to building an effective lead list is very simple. It just comes down to identifying the ideal kind of clients that you want to work for. That's kind of it. And from there, the list of finding and building this list, almost infinite. For example, we can use software like D7 Lead Finder. We can use Apollo.io, Instantly, which is a cold email platform. They have it. We can use Upwork to have someone build us a lead list. We can use LinkedIn and Sales Navigator in order to scrape leads that way. How else do we do it? We can do it my favorite way, which is the high-level prospecting tool. What I do with this one is go into high level, simply hit the prospecting tool, type in the city that I want and the industry that I'm looking for, and it spits it out. We send an automated report, create a Loom video for it, and it works the best. So that is clearly my preference, but I've done them all and I'll continue to do them all because they all kind of work. And if you think about how many leads do you really need, or how many clients do you really need in order to build a very successful and profitable agency? It's not as many as you might think. For example, if we've got $2,500 as, say, our average service price, and we've got 4 clients, well, there's 10K a month. Just like that, 4 clients, 10K a month. Or what if we decided we're going to just go crazy here and we're going to get 10 clients? Well, now you're at 25K a month. Want 20 clients? 50K a month. And from there, you can just scale it up. You can raise your packages, you can take on more clients, but these are insane kind of numbers that I didn't think was possible until I really started building out my agencies. I mean, 50K a month, that's like expensive doctor, lawyer, surgeon salaries, right? Like crazy money. And the fact is that over the years, we've built up multiple 7-figure agencies, making millions and millions of dollars a year without needing to become a brain surgeon or spending all day working, because a lot of the software and the automations and the systems do much of the heavy lifting for us. So the takeaway point here is that your lead lists and your potential leads, they're really everywhere. And the only thing that's limiting you is just going in there and running through the high-level prospecting tool and typing in the name of a city and the niche that you're targeting and starting to go through the process. Of course, that does lead us to the next thing, which is all right, I've got my niche, figured out what I'm going to offer. I've got my lead list. I've got people that I'm going to go through. Now what do I do? Well, we have 2 options here, depending on how aggressive, assertive, desperate, interested, ambitious, motivated you are. The first of which is the one that everybody hates, and the one that we don't normally teach or lead with inside of the Agency Accelerator program for that very reason. It's simply because everybody hates it, but it's cold calling. Now, people hate it because it's uncomfortable. It's not fun to call some random stranger and be like, hey, would you like to do business with me? Which is clearly not the script that we use. But regardless, it's still an unpleasant thing. That said, if you're looking to make the fastest amount of money in the fastest, most effective way, you've got to get like to 10K a month, 50K a month, 100K a month as fast as possible. It's hard to argue with cold calling simply because you can make 1,000 cold calls a day. You really can. It does not take that long. Each cold call should last like 10 to 30 seconds max. The goal of the cold call is not to sell, it's to actually book an appointment, and then you can go on and have the conversations from there. So that's number one. Clearly, that's not the one that people like to use, which is why we use a marketing audit strategy. And this is where we come back to High Level's prospecting tool. So the strategy that we use inside of the program, and the one that I teach and the one that I swear by and absolutely love, is we start with a marketing audit where we'll make our lead list, we'll go through and we'll do marketing audits on our top prospects. So using High Level's prospecting tool, this allows me to go in and take a look at their website to see if they have missed call text back, to see how their reviews are doing, to see if they have web chat widgets installed. All of these things happen automatically. I then get a very nice layout report. I can look through it. I make a video walking the client through what that is, some opportunities, where they're doing things well, where there's room for improvement. I then send that to them, and that's it. Well, shouldn't say that's it. I mean, there's a bit more to it than that, obviously, but we send the marketing audit. I then follow up, if I want, with a warm call, following up about it. Then I use something we call DM domination, where we'll go into social media, LinkedIn, Instagram. We'll send another script following up with it, and then we'll just follow up with our emails from there. This does not take long at all. And let's use incredibly conservative numbers here, very conservative numbers, just to show you what's possible. But let's say that it takes you 100 audits to get one client. When you're first getting started, you're going to be a little slower. It's going to take a bit of time. So you're probably going to need to do, let's say, 50 audits in a day is going to be enough. It'll be a pretty full day. So that'll get you 0.5 clients. Well, let's just do the math on that. Essentially, if we do 50 audits in a day and we get half a client, we'll stretch this out, obviously. That means on Monday we do it, Tuesday, let's make sure we got space, Wednesday, Thursday, let's go down here to Friday and Saturday, because we're go-getters. We're aggressive. We want this to work. Well, we do 50, we do 50, we do 50, 50, 50. Now check this out. This is where things get really cool. Now we get a client because we've done 100. We do it here, we get a client because we've done 100. We do it here, we get a client because we've done 100. This literally means we could do this and get 3 new clients in a week. If we do 3 clients in a week, let's come back up to our numbers here. Well, 3 clients in a week, then we do 3 the next week, 3 the next week, 3 the next week. We're now at 12 clients. 12 times our, let's use $2,000 for easy math. So now we're at 24K in literally 30 days, provided we do everything right and use all the software, use the systems and the scripts and all of that. But like, these are what's possible. And this is how I was able to build up my last agency to 100K a month in less than 30 days. It was not magic. It was not some secret, amazing strategy. It was like literally going through the marketing audits and then just doing the numbers. We were doing about 100 audits. We're sending them out and we were just stacking up clients. So when you go through that, when you put all these pieces together, the only thing that's really stopping you is not taking action, right? Because we've identified who we need our ideal clients. We've identified what we're going to offer by figuring out high profit services. We know how to build a lead list by going through all of those sources. We know what we're going to do to get clients. If we have no software, no experience, anything, we can literally just call them. If we do have software and we have access to like High Level and the prospecting tool through High Level Guide, again, I'll make sure to put the list up, or I'll make sure to put the link in the description below, but as well, you've got it here. Then we can use the prospecting. We can use it for automatic follow-up. We can use it for email and so on. And then it's just a question of actually putting in the work and doing the things that we need to do. So with that said, now you're signing clients. Life is good. Now we got to talk about this. GT, KT, because this is where the money gets made. This is what separates the amateurs from the pros. I first learned about this from a marketer named Ryan Lee, and GT stands for get them, and KT stands for keep them. And it has fundamentally changed the way that I run and build and scale agencies. right down to the core. Essentially, these are the only two activities that you should ever be doing: getting them and keeping them. And if your business, if your agency is doing less than $10,000 per month right now, 80% of your time, at least, needs to be focused on getting them. Yes, if you have a client or two, that's fantastic. Do a good job with them. Make sure that you're getting them results. But you can't build a really profitable, successful agency with one or two clients. It's just not, I don't even know if that's enough to sort of cover the bills that you would need to make this a viable thing. And if one of them leaves, well, you're hooped. So we don't want that. We want better. So 80% of your time on getting them. As you get to like 20K a month, then you can start splitting it up to like 50-50. So we'll say 10K per month, and this will be 20 to 50K per month. Then we can start splitting things up. Get them, keep them. Now, how do we do this? Well, we need to focus on, and I kind of talked about this a little bit at the beginning, but they're called RGAs. Revenue generating activities. In fact, this is one of the biggest killers of agencies, is a focus on what I call NRGAs, which are non-revenue generating activities. I don't need to write that all out. You know where I'm going with this. Revenue generating activities. What are they? They are things that fall under this banner: GT, KT, RGA. And one more acronym, just for fun: MIA, massive imperfect action. If you're going to memorize any kind of saying, acronyms, or anything like that that is going to explode your agency and put you in the right mindset to succeed, it is going to be those. It is going to be get them, keep them. Let's do that again. That was a messy writing. Get them. Holy moly. Get them, keep them. RGA, revenue generating activities. Massive imperfect action. This is the secret. This is the secret to growing your agency. You need to be taking the steps, literally doing the things that I've walked you through here inside this video, and doing them on a daily basis until you hit your goals. That is it. If you do these things, you will not fail. You cannot fail. The only way it doesn't work is if you A, don't do them, or B, just quit. So obviously you're not going to do that because you're the kind of person that sticks around to the end, which, on that note, I want to make sure that you've got everything you need to succeed. So what I'm going to do, aside from all the other things that I mentioned, is put down in the descriptions below a link to access the 10K Agency Blueprint, which is a free training, masterclass, community, all kinds of things bundled up into one. And you can go join there for absolutely free. And I believe it is just .com as well. So 10K Agency Blueprint, you can click the link in the description or check it out like that. Also, if you're curious about how we help agency owners grow and scale to 6 and 7 figures, I'll also make sure to leave a link in the descriptions down below this video as well for you to check out if you're interested. So with all that said, you've got a lot of resources and tools now that are going to help you succeed. So start clicking some links. You can check out a video I've got linked up over here. The only thing that matters is taking action.